enter the world of woe, experience the human condition, come in a state of humility, in a state of emptiness, in a state of dependence for the first time in his eternal existence on someone else. Why? And I know what you might be thinking. It's John 3:16. Known it from childhood. You may be singing the words in the song in our songbook that asks the question, why did my Savior come to earth? You may be singing in your mind the chorus, He loved me so. And so we have the technical answer. But my follow-up question, as is probably yours, is how? How could He love us like that? How? In the condition that He found us in the condition that we find ourselves in. How? We're not very lovable a lot of times. It's not easy, if we're honest with ourselves, for other people to love us. You may remember a B.B. King song that's titled, Don't Nobody Love Me But My Mother, and sometimes she be jiving. I mean, sometimes it's hard for our own moms to love us. We're not very lovable people. Romans chapter 5, verses 6 through 8 tells us that Christ died for the ungodly. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die. Perhaps for a good man, someone will dare to die. But God demonstrates His love to us, that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. I can try to wrap my mind around the why. Okay, because He loved us. But how? How could He love us? How could He love me like that? How could He love the people that were living and dwelling in Jerusalem when He comes on the scene as a tender plant that comes up amidst dry ground? That's a spiritually dry ground. Most of those who saw Him perform miracles still rejected Him. When He called Himself, when He revealed Himself as the Son of God, they said, "You blaspheme." When He performed miracles, there were some among the religious community who said the devil has empowered Him with the ability to do that. And yet Jesus comes and He dies for us anyway. When we try to grasp the Savior's motivation, we should never be the same. When we try to wrap our head around the fact that we, as unlovable as we often are, as sinful as we often are, the fact that the Lord knew, because as it was prophesied, He would come and He would be despised, He would be rejected. John, in the first chapter of John, said He came into His own and His own received Him not. It was not a surprise to the Lord. He knew it was going to happen. He was not shocked by the rejection. He knew it was going to be the case before He came, before He left the ivory palaces. He knew that most. When He came and all He did was show love and mercy and compassion and tenderness and depth of feeling, that's all He gave, and what He got back in many cases, in most cases, was the opposite. Why did my Savior come to earth? Because He loved me so. And my question, and I know yours is too, how? How? And so when we spend some time reflecting on the how, we should never be the same. Our life should forever be changed when we take a look at our condition and we realize He loves us anyway. And he loved us enough to sacrifice everything so that we could have a chance to live with him forever. To help us reflect on that incredible love and the motivation of the Lord behind it, Rob's going to come now and lead us in faith.